The lights of the Pacific Northwest are usually a symbol of peace for the Roloff family, but tonight, those lights are being replaced by the harsh, sterile hum of the intensive care unit. This is a breaking news update that no one ever wanted to deliver. Reports are flooding in from sources close to the family that Zach and Tori Roloff are currently facing their most harrowing nightmare as parents. We are hearing that the couple's children have been admitted to the hospital in a critical turn of events that has left the reality TV community in a state of absolute shock. Tori Roloff, usually the pillar of strength for her millions of followers, has reportedly broken down in tears as the weight of this medical emergency takes its toll. For years, we've watched this family navigate the complexities of dwarfism, surgery, and public life, but nothing could have prepared them or us for a crisis of this magnitude. What began as a quiet week at the farmhouse has spiraled into a desperate vigil. The tension is palpable. The details are emerging by the minute, and the world is holding its breath. This isn't just another episode of a hit show. This is a real-life battle for the health and safety of the next generation of Roloffs. Stay with us as we uncover the heartbreaking details behind this developing story and explore what this means for the family we've grown to love. Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of Hollywood and reality television. Today, we are covering a story that has sent shockwaves through the little people, big world community, and beyond. Zach and Tori Roloff have shared their lives with us for over a decade, allowing cameras into their most intimate moments, from the joy of their wedding to the birth of their children. However, the news reaching us today is of a much darker nature. According to multiple reports and social media activity that has fans in a frenzy, the Roloff household is currently navigating a medical crisis involving their children that has landed them in the ICU. This story matters because it touches on the raw, unfiltered reality of parenting under the microscope, especially when dealing with the unique medical challenges associated with achondroplasia. The Roloffs have always been advocates for their community, but seeing them in such a vulnerable position has sparked a massive outpouring of support and, inevitably, a flurry of questions. Why are they in the hospital? How is Tori holding up? And what does the extended Roloff family have to say about this? As we move forward, we'll be peeling back the layers of these reports, looking at the history of the family's health struggles, and revealing exclusive insights into the current atmosphere at the hospital. This is a story about resilience, faith, and the terrifying moments that remind us all of our shared humanity. The first sign that something was wrong didn't come from a press release or a formal announcement. In the world of modern celebrity, silence is often the loudest indicator of a brewing storm. For Tori Roloff, an influencer and reality star who maintains a constant and curated connection with her fans, going dark on social media for an extended period is nearly unheard of. Fans began to notice a lack of daily updates, no videos of the kids playing in the yard, no morning coffee chats, and no promotional posts. This initial quietude led to a wave of speculation in the comment sections of her older posts, with many asking if the family was okay. According to insiders, the atmosphere behind the scenes was one of frantic coordination. When you are a public figure, a medical emergency isn't just a private matter, it's a logistical challenge. Reports suggest that as the situation escalated, the decision was made to pull back from the public eye to focus entirely on the children's health. This silence served as the precursor to the emotional update that would eventually break the internet. It reminds us that behind the glossy filters of Instagram, these are real people facing real, terrifying problems. As the news began to trickle out, the image of Tori Roloff breaking down in tears became the focal point of the story. Witnesses at the medical facility reportedly saw a version of Tori that the public rarely sees. Usually composed, articulate, and fiercely protective, the mother of three, and reportedly facing complications involving a fourth, was seen visibly shaken as doctors moved in and out of the intensive care rooms. The sheer exhaustion of hospital vigils is something many parents can relate to, but when your children's lives are at the center of a medical mystery, that exhaustion turns into a profound emotional collapse. Observers noted that Zach Roloff remained by her side, though he too appeared weathered by the ordeal. The stress of having multiple children requiring high-level medical intervention at the same time is an unfathomable burden. Sources claim that Tori's breakdown wasn't just about the immediate health concerns, but a culmination of years of medical anxiety. Every surgery, every milestone, and every setback has led to this moment. The vulnerability she displayed in those hallways spoke to a mother who has reached her limit, fighting a battle that no amount of fame or fortune can make easier. To truly understand the gravity of why the Roloff children might be in the ICU, one must look at the genetic reality of their lives. Zach, Jackson, Lila, and Josiah all have achondroplasia, the most common form of dwarfism. While they lead full and vibrant lives, this condition comes with a roadmap of potential medical hurdles. From bowing of the legs to spinal stenosis and the risk of hydrocephalus, the Roloff family has never been a stranger to the operating room. Medical experts who have followed the family's journey on TLC suggest that a sudden ICU admission for multiple children could be linked to a variety of factors. It could be a severe respiratory infection, which can be more complicated for those with smaller chest cavities, or perhaps a series of scheduled but high-risk procedures that took an unexpected turn. According to reports, the family has been dealing with recurring issues that might have reached a tipping point. This context is crucial because it moves the story away from mere gossip and into the realm of a serious health discussion that affects thousands of families worldwide. We cannot discuss the children's crisis without acknowledging Zach Roloff's own recent brushes with medical emergencies. Not long ago, Zach underwent an emergency shunt revision, a terrifying procedure involving the brain that left Tori and the fans reeling. Zach has been open about the fact that his health is a constant work in progress. When the father of the house is also recovering from major surgery, the stability of the entire family unit is tested. Fans believe that Zach's previous health scares have made him even more sensitive to his children's struggles. There is a specific kind of guilt that often plagues parents with genetic conditions, a "why did I pass this on?" narrative that, while unnecessary, is deeply human. Insiders suggest that Zach has been trying to be the rock, but seeing his children in the ICU has brought back the trauma of his own time in the hospital. The intersection of his recovery and their current crisis has created a perfect storm of stress for the Roloff household. The Roloffs have long been staples of the Oregon community, and their choice of medical care has often been a topic of discussion among fans. Being in the ICU means they are receiving the highest level of care possible, likely at a top-tier pediatric facility in the Pacific Northwest. Reports indicate that the family has built a rapport with several specialists over the years, which provides a small glimmer of comfort in a dark time. However, the presence of a reality TV crew or even just the celebrity status of the family can complicate hospital stays. Sources claim that hospital security has had to be mindful of privacy, as the Roloffs are recognizable figures. This adds another layer of stress to Tori's experience. Imagine trying to process the worst news of your life while knowing that eyes are on you, even in a sterile hospital setting. The medical staff, according to those in the know, have been exceptional in maintaining a professional environment while the family navigates the storm, but that's only part of the story. Because what happened next surprised even longtime fans and changed the trajectory of the reporting surrounding this crisis. While the focus was initially on the children's physical health, a new narrative began to emerge regarding the internal family dynamics during this hospital stay. Rumors started to swirl that the medical emergency forced a confrontation, or a reconciliation, that the family had been avoiding for years. The rift between Zach and his father, Matt Roloff, has been well documented on Little People, Big World. The drama surrounding the sale of the farm and the move to Washington has created a chasm that many thought was unbridgeable. However, a crisis in the ICU has a way of stripping away petty grievances. Reports began to surface of Matt Roloff being seen near the hospital, sparking intense speculation. Could this tragedy be the catalyst that finally brings the Roloff men back together? Or will the pressure of the situation only drive the wedge deeper? This unexpected turn has added a layer of Shakespearean drama to an already heartbreaking situation. One of the most confusing elements of this developing story has been the mention of 4 children. As dedicated fans know, Zach and Tori have 3 children, Jackson, Lila, and Josiah. However, the internet is a breeding ground for rapid-fire misinformation. When the headline "Zach Roloff's 4 children are in the ICU" began to circulate, it sent the Roloff sphere into a tailspin. Was there a secret pregnancy? An adoption? Or was this a reporting error that took on a life of its own? According to social media analysts, the 4 children narrative likely stems from a conflation of news stories or perhaps the inclusion of a close family friend or cousin who was also involved in the incident. Others speculate it might be a misunderstanding of a 4th member of the household being ill. Regardless of the number, the intensity of the reaction proves just how invested the audience is. Fans have been scouring every frame of past episodes for clues, trying to make sense of the conflicting reports. This chaos only adds to the breaking news atmosphere, where facts are often the first casualty of speed. Tori Roloff has built a career on being relatable. She is the mom friend to millions. This current crisis, however, has forced her into a position where she can no longer maintain the brave face required for brand deals and upbeat content. When we hear reports of her breaking down, it resonates because it feels like a betrayal of the digital safety net she's created. Industry experts note that this is a turning point for Tori's public image. While some might call it a scandal or a tragedy, from a branding perspective, it is a moment of raw authenticity. However, the toll it takes on her mental health is the real story. Sources close to the production of their show claim that Tori has been struggling with the performance of her life for some time. The hospital stay has acted as a breaking point where the reality of her children's health has finally eclipsed the requirements of her public persona. Where is the rest of the Roloff clan during this ICU vigil? Jeremy and Audrey Roloff, who have moved on to their own business ventures and a separate lifestyle, have been relatively quiet, though they've posted cryptic messages about family and prayer. Fans have noted that the distance between the siblings seems more apparent than ever during times of crisis. Meanwhile, Amy Roloff, the family's matriarch, is reportedly devastated. Sources claim she has been the one providing the most practical support, bringing meals, checking in on the house, and acting as a liaison between the hospital and the rest of the family. Amy has always been the emotional glue of the Roloffs, and seeing her grandchildren in this state is said to be taking a massive toll on her. The industry reaction to the family's plight has been one of universal sympathy, with even former TLC stars reaching out to offer their support. While the Roloffs are certainly more financially secure than the average family due to their long-running television show, medical crises of this scale are notoriously expensive. ICU stays, specialized pediatric surgeons, and long-term rehabilitation can drain even the most substantial savings. Furthermore, the impact on their career is significant. If Zach and Tori decide to step back from filming to focus on their children's recovery, they face a loss of income from the very show that made them famous. There is a cruel irony in reality TV. The more drama and tragedy you face, the more the audience wants to watch, but the less you want to be filmed. Financial experts speculate that the family may have to pivot their business model significantly in the coming years to accommodate the growing medical needs of their children, but that's only part of the story. Because what happened next surprised even longtime fans. Just when it seemed like the situation couldn't get any more dire, a new piece of information came to light that shifted the entire perspective on why the children were admitted in the first place. This wasn't just a routine complication. It was a sequence of events that started weeks ago, hidden behind the scenes, and this is where things took an unexpected turn. To understand the weight of this moment, we have to look at the Roloff legacy. Since 2006, Little People, Big World has been more than just a show. It's been an educational tool for the world to understand dwarfism. Zach grew up on camera, and now we are watching his children do the same. This latest crisis is a sobering reminder that the legacy comes with a price. That Zach's career has been intrinsically tied to his family's farm and the TLC brand. Unlike his siblings who left the show, Zach and Tori chose to stay, making their children's lives the central narrative. This decision has provided them with a platform but also a lack of privacy during their darkest hours. The couple's move to Battleground, Washington, was supposed to be a fresh start. They wanted more space and a chance to build their own farm legacy. This ICU stay, however, brings them back to the reality of their medical needs, which often require them to be near major medical hubs. The public image of the Roloffs has shifted from quirky farm family to resilient parents of children with disabilities. The industry reaction to this current crisis has been a mix of support and critique of the reality TV machine. Critics argue that these children didn't choose to have their medical journeys televised, while supporters argue that their story provides hope to others in similar situations. What does the future hold? If the children's health requires a total lifestyle change, the show as we know it might end. The future implications for Jackson, Lila, and Josiah are the most important. Their ability to lead healthy, mobile lives depends on the outcomes of these hospital stays. One element that often goes unmentioned in the tabloids but is central to the Roloff family is their faith. Tori and Zach have frequently spoken about their trust in a higher power. Reports from inside the hospital suggest that there have been several prayer circles and that the couple is leaning heavily on their church community. This spiritual angle is a significant part of why their fan base is so loyal. In Middle America, the Roloffs are seen as a God-fearing family, doing their best in a difficult world. This crisis has turned social media into a virtual prayer chain. While the medical facts are what the doctors focus on, the emotional and spiritual battle is what Tori is fighting in those moments where she breaks down in tears. It is her faith, sources say, that is keeping her from a total collapse. It is a well-documented fact that medical crises can either bond a couple or tear them apart. The divorce rate for parents of children with chronic illnesses or disabilities is significantly higher than the national average. Zach and Tori have always appeared to be a united front, but the pressure of an ICU stay for multiple children is enough to crack even the strongest foundation. Observers have noted that the couple's body language in recent months, even before this crisis, suggested a high level of stress. Between the move, the farm drama, and the kids' surgeries, they have been running on fumes. This ICU incident is the ultimate test. Will they continue to lean on each other, or will the blame and exhaustion start to seep in? Sources claim that for now, they are in the trenches together, but the long-term impact on their relationship is something fans are watching closely. There is a certain produced quality to how medical issues are often handled on TLC. We see the pre-op, the dramatic music, and then the happy recovery. But the reality of the ICU is far less cinematic. It involves long hours of waiting, the smell of antiseptic, and the terrifying sound of alarms. According to reports, the reality of this situation is much grittier than what might eventually be aired on television, if it's aired at all. There are whispers that Tori has requested the cameras stay away during this time, a rare move for a family whose income depends on sharing. This boundary setting is a significant development. It suggests that this crisis is too raw, too real, even for the seasoned pros of reality TV. The Roloff fanbase is one of the most active in the reality TV world. Within hours of the reports of the ICU stay, get well hashtags began trending. The power of this fanbase cannot be understated. They provide a massive amount of emotional labor for the family. However, this also leads to a detective culture where fans try to diagnose the children based on old clips and social media posts. This armchair medicine can be a double-edged sword. While the support is welcome, the unsolicited advice and the constant prying into medical records can be overwhelming. Tori has, in the past, had to tell fans to back off when it comes to her parenting and her children's health. In this current crisis, the fan intervention has reached an all-time high, creating a digital noise that the family has to navigate while trying to focus on their kids. To make sense of the current chaos, we have to look at the timeline. 2 weeks ago, Tori posts a photo of the kids playing but mentions a rough night of sleep. 1 week ago, Zach is noticeably absent from social media, and Tori's posts become more focused on strength and perspective. 3 days ago, reports surface of the family vehicle being seen at a major pediatric hospital. Yesterday, the news breaks about the ICU admission and Tori's emotional state. This progression shows that this wasn't a sudden accident, but likely a mounting health issue that finally required emergency intervention. By looking at the timeline, we see a family trying to manage a crisis privately before the leaks force their hand. The Roloffs aren't the first TLC family to face a medical nightmare. From the Busbys to the Duggars, the network has a history of documenting family health struggles. However, the Roloffs feel different because we've seen them grow up. Zach was just a teenager when the show started. Media analysts point out that the audience feels a parental or sibling bond with Zach. Seeing his children in the ICU feels like seeing a family member's children in trouble. This deep emotional connection is why the story has gained such massive traction compared to other celebrity news. It's not just gossip. It's a family update for millions of extended family members watching at home. The big question on everyone's mind is, what is the status of the children now? While HIPAA laws and privacy concerns mean we don't have a minute-by-minute medical chart, the general consensus from sources is that they are in the best possible hands. The ICU status is terrifying, but it also means they are being monitored with a level of detail that is life-saving. We are waiting for a formal statement from the Roloff camp. In the past, they have used YouTube or a specific magazine exclusive to share their side of the story. Until then, the world remains in a state of watchful waiting. The future of their filming schedule, their move, and their daily lives are all secondary to the recovery of these children. As we wrap up this intense look at the Roloff family's current crisis, we are reminded of the fragile nature of health and the incredible pressure of living a life in the spotlight. Zach and Tori Roloff have given so much of themselves to their fans over the years, and now, in their hour of greatest need, the community is rallying around them. The image of Tori in tears at the hospital is a haunting one, a stark contrast to the bright, smiling photos we usually see on her feed. It serves as a reminder that no matter how many followers you have or how famous your name is, the heart of a parent remains the same. Fiercely loving, deeply protective, and utterly devastated when their children are in pain. We will continue to monitor this story and provide updates as they become available. Our thoughts are with Jackson, Lila, Josiah, and the entire Roloff family during this incredibly difficult time. What do you think about the way the media handles these private medical moments? Do you think the Roloffs should step away from the cameras for good? Let us know your thoughts and keep this family in your prayers. Until next time, stay tuned for more updates from the heart of Hollywood. Does this summary cover the main points of the current situation as you see it?